What is a RACI chart? Well, if you're not quite sure, then you've come to the right place because today I'm going to be walking you through exactly what it is. I'm going to be giving you an example, and I'm also going to be running through these very things. We're going to be looking at some of the key definitions that you're going to need to know. An example, as I said, and what a RACI chart typically looks like. We're also going to be looking at the benefits of using a RACI chart and when you will want to use one. So if that sounds good, then please do hit the like button, and without further ado, let's get right into it. So first and foremost, what is a RACI chart? Well, a RACI chart is a project management planning diagram and tool that outlines roles and responsibilities. So RACI, you're probably thinking there, what is the acronym? Well, it stands for R is responsible, A is accountable, C is consulted, and I is informed. So as such, a RACI chart clearly specifies which individuals are involved in a project, along with what they are responsible for, whether that be tasks, milestones, or decisions. Now, also note that RACI charts also go by the alternate name RACI matrix. So if you see one or the other, they are very much the same. So I'd just like to bring to your attention a couple of different definitions to be aware of. So back to those RACI roles, the responsible, accountable, consulted and informed, what do they actually mean? Well, some of them are pretty self-explanatory, but I'm going to run through them anyway. So responsible does the work to complete the task. So who is responsible? Who makes sure that the work is completed? Now, for each task, only one individual can be responsible for it. Accountable, that's essentially who delegates the work and is the last one to review the task or deliverable before it's deemed complete. Again, only one individual is specified for this per task. Consulted, so this role is about providing input based on how it will impact the project work or the domain of expertise on the deliverable itself. And there can be no maximum or minimum. So you could have multiple consultants, if you like, with this RACI role against each and every task. And informed, again, there's also no maximum or minimum number of individuals who could fulfill this role. But the informed is all about keeping the individual needs to be kept in the loop on project progress rather than roped into the details of every deliverable. So the informed is essentially any stakeholder that needs to know about the outcome of an activity or what's going on the project. So what does a RACI chart look like? I'm going to be sharing with you an example in a moment, but just so you can quickly visualize it, you need to kind of think about it as a table or a grid. It's a diagram that has columns, rows, and cells. The columns are typically used to show the project roles, so that could be a project sponsor. You'll typically find the project manager on there as well. Then you can have some extra roles such as consultants. Rows typically include the activities or tasks. They could be phases or they could be work packages. The cells typically include the letters R, A, C, R, I, and that indicates which role sits with each stakeholder. And just also note that some RACI charts are used at the project level, whereby projects are used on each row instead of activities, tasks, or phases. So that's just perhaps one way to visualize it. I'm now showing you an example of a RACI chart. It's actually another video I've created, how to create a RACI chart from scratch in Excel. I will drop a link in the description down below if you want to head over there if you need to create one. And it's going to show you how to pretty much create this and all the formatting that's involved. And as you can see here, I've got some additional columns as well, such as status, which may or may not be required. It's obviously optional, but that's also good to have, just so you can give more of an overview of the tasks and deliverables. And I've also split out the different tasks and deliverables by phases. Again, entirely optional, not always required, but it does give some extra context should you need it. And as you can see here as well, we've got the project roles in the columns at the top, starting with sponsor, senior management, and you'll also see those individual RACIs indicated on the matrix itself against each of the different tasks. So as an example, on this RACI matrix, the sponsor is responsible for the task or deliverable 1 in phase 1, and that's also currently in progress. So just an example, if you do want to create this, then as I say, check out that link in the description below. So benefits of a RACI, why would you do one? Well, they help to simplify and clarify responsibilities. They provide a single point of responsibility, so everyone knows exactly what they need to do. Plus, they are very flexible. So RACI charts can be adapted depending on the project or portfolio that one is required for. And they can also be restructured whereby column names are actually individual names. So instead of having, say, project manager, you could literally specify the project manager's name. So that's one way that they're often adapted, and you may even see them if you've looked at other templates online. RACI charts also ensure projects remain on track, and they ensure that no activities are overlooked. They also emphasize communication between teams and stakeholders, which is of course very, very important. They also help save time and ensure that only the right individuals participate in, say, project meetings or activities. It makes sure that only the right personnel are involved. And they also help ensure the project aligns back to the overall organisational strategy. So when would you want to use one? Well, they're commonly, and a great time to use them is before the project commences or on the onset of a project. And it's typically during the planning phase and when the project team is being assembled. But they also can be used during the project. And I've given 4 different examples. There may be others, contexts where they're useful, but they can be particularly useful if one wasn't created at the onset of the project, or you encounter some of these particular issues, such as processes are stalling due to role confusion, when authority has not been established, or when decisions are not being made, or even when activities and efforts are being duplicated. So just bear these in mind if you haven't set one up already, or you are thinking of doing so. So I hope you liked the video. If you did, please do hit the like button. That tells me I should continue recording videos just like this. And do consider subscribing to my channel. If you head over to my channel, you should find a project management training playlist, and it's got plenty of videos like this. So if you're new to project management and want to learn about different acronyms, tools, artifacts, aspects of your work or methodologies, anything like that, anything related to project management, then my channel is for you, and you should find those videos in that playlist as mentioned. Otherwise, you could always hit the bell button, and that will let you know when I release new videos just like this. With all of that said, I hope you have an excellent day.